One of the things you said, of course, was that he is an incredible, incredible leader. You also said he's an ethical scorer, no matter what they say. Tell me what you see from JB as a scorer and what he brings to this league in that part of his game.
Yeah, I mean, he's our driving force on the offensive end. He's able to manipulate the defense into getting himself open shots and to getting other people, involved. And, that's what we need, especially late in that fourth quarter when we need to get a bucket. He's going to make the right play. And that right play sometimes isn't scoring. It's about him getting off the ball, trusting his teammates, and he does that. And, that's why he's huge for us.
Madison Square Garden, Knicks down 27 at halftime. Everyone's watching Wemby, not the small guard in the corner. 2 hours later, that same guard drops 36 points. The Knicks just pulled off the biggest comeback in finals history. New York now controls the series. Now, rewind 7 years, Dirk Nowitzki's last season. He's sitting next to a 22-year-old nobody wanted. By the end of the year, Dirk kept saying it. This kid's work ethic is different. Nobody listened. Dallas let him go. Even Dirk doubted later, but he was right from day one. And this is how the story ends. Jalen Brunson was never the pick everyone believed in. His dad coached in the league. He grew up living in gyms, not chasing highlight clips. At Villanova, scouts already had their label ready. Smart player, hard worker, but low ceiling. The kind of guard analytics hate. Then he won 2 national titles in a row. He was the engine behind one of the best college teams in years. Still, the league wasn't buying it. Why? Same old reasons. Too short, not explosive, no big vertical, a jump shot that worked but never wowed anyone. Scouts wrote him off before he even stepped in the gym. Draft night 2018. Brunson watched 32 names get called before his. Luka, Trae Young, SGA, Ayton, all picked. Brunson, an afterthought at pick 33. Dallas grabbed him as a backup, not a building block. Here's the twist. His rookie year was Dirk's final year. One legend walking out, Luka walking in. And in that locker room, the guy who noticed the ignored second-round pick wasn't Luka, it was Dirk. He didn't care about wingspan or vertical leaps. He saw a kid arriving early, staying late, asking smart questions, and going full speed in every single drill. Dirk pulled him aside and told him straight up, "You're already ahead of where I was at your age." That was it. Work ethic, professionalism, loving the grind when nobody's watching. The same stuff Dirk built his whole career on. Years later, Dirk still called Brunson his guy, said losing him hurt the franchise. GM Donnie Nelson, the man who drafted him at 33, had his own way of putting it. Heart and brains, the stuff no spreadsheet can measure. He even compared Brunson to Nash and Hardaway. The read was there, the praise was there, and the league still wasn't paying attention. From 2018 to 2022, Brunson stayed in the same lane. Backup guard, second option, the steady hand beside Luka. Solid, forgettable numbers, just under 12 points a night, right around league average. Good for a paycheck, not a max deal. Then 2022 hit. First round of the playoffs, Utah series. Luka goes down with a calf injury. For the first time, the league saw Brunson with no superstar in front of him. He answered with 41 points in Game 2. He averaged over 21 a night the rest of the way, kept Dallas alive, and helped push them to the Western Conference Finals. The guy labeled a role player just dragged the team to the edge of the finals as the lead man. You'd think that changes everything. It didn't. That summer, Dallas made their move. They didn't extend him. They didn't fight for him. They let him walk to New York for 4 years, $104 million, a deal almost everyone called an overpay. The takes were everywhere. Role player getting star money, New York locking into years of mediocrity, Brunson folding under the bright lights. That contract, they said, would be one of the worst in the league within 2 years. Even Dirk had doubts. The one man who truly saw what Brunson was, who called him his guy, wasn't sure this move to New York would work. The pressure, the media, the history of point guards getting swallowed by that city. This time, the whole league agreed on something, and that almost never happens. For Game 5, I locked in Brunson for over 1.5 threes made, Dylan Harper for over 9.5 points, and OG Anunoby for over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists combined after that wild Game 4. Good player, not a superstar, not the guy who carries a team. That's what everybody kept saying. But they were grading Brunson against the wrong checklist. They wanted size, length, switchability, all the stuff that looks great on paper. Dirk was pointing somewhere else the whole time. character, work ethic, competitive fire, the stuff that never shows up on tape. The league read one column and ignored the other. Then Brunson landed in New York and started proving the real read. Year 1 in New York, everything flipped. Career highs everywhere, 24 points a night. The Knicks jumped from lottery team to playoff team in one summer. He led them to their first playoff series win in 10 years. All those overpay takes? Deleted within months. Suddenly, it was, we got him for how much? Year 2, first All-Star selection. Year 3, All-NBA honors. Back-to-back 50-win seasons. He took the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2000. The guy nobody trusted to carry a team was now carrying a whole franchise. That overpay contract turned into one of the best deals of the decade. Then this season came, and it was the coronation. Under new coach Mike Brown, on a roster built around him, Brunson averaged 26 points, almost 7 assists, shooting 46.7%. Third All-Star nod, third All-NBA team. Then in December, he did something nobody had ever done. He dropped 40 points in an NBA Cup semifinal, the most ever scored in a Cup elimination game. He followed it with 25 and 8 in the final, won Cup MVP, and gave New York its first in-season trophy ever. Right after that 40-point night, Dirk showed up on the broadcast. He looked at Brunson and admitted it straight up. He doubted New York. He wasn't sure the work ethic from 2019 would hold up under that spotlight. He was wrong. He told Brunson live on air, "I'm super proud of you. I saw how hard you work, how much it means to you, how much time you put in when nobody's watching." Same thing Dirk had been saying since 2019. Brunson, being Brunson, clapped back with a joke about Dirk's last finals trip being 40 years ago. The whole panel lost it. 2 decades of story closed live on TV. Here's why that Dirk moment matters so much. Every single thing Dirk pointed at back in 2019 is exactly what every analyst had to admit by 2026. Leadership in the huddle, cool head in the fourth quarter, wanting the ball with the game on the line, never letting the moment get too big. The stuff the league called unmeasurable turned out to be the exact difference between a playoff team and a championship team. Every doubter, front offices, models, pundits, even Dirk for a stretch, had been measuring the wrong things all along. Then the playoffs hit and Brunson stopped being a story, he became a problem. Through the first 2 rounds in the conference finals, he averaged 27.4 points and 6.2 assists, shooting 46%. New York ripped off a 13-game playoff win streak, the longest of the whole postseason. He swept the conference finals, took home ECF MVP, and stacked it on top of his Cup MVP. 2 MVPs in one season. That basically never happens. Then came the finals. New York against San Antonio. Wemby, Castle, Harper, the most hyped young roster in basketball. Every single preview talked about Spurs' length, athleticism, size on defense. Nobody mentioned the one thing that had decided Brunson's whole career, the exact thing Dirk called out 7 years earlier. Game 1, Brunson drops 30 on the road, Knicks win. Game 2, Knicks survive by 1 point, 2-0 lead. Game 3, San Antonio finally answers back. Game 4 becomes the defining moment of his career. Knicks trailed by 27 at halftime in their own building. Dead silent. Everyone's already thinking about Game 5. Instead, Brunson walks into the locker room and doesn't yell, doesn't smash anything. He just says, "Chip away, get on base." By the third quarter, the gap's in single digits. By the fourth, he's pulling up from 27 feet to make it a 1-point game. His floater puts New York ahead for the first time all night. His last 3 rims out, but OG Anunoby taps it in with 1.2 seconds left. Biggest comeback in finals history. Brunson's line? 36 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. The win and a 3-1 series lead. He just did the thing everyone said he couldn't do. San Antonio was favored. The Knicks weren't supposed to be here. And the 33rd pick, who couldn't carry a team, has New York 1 win from a championship. Every doubter from 2022 has had to eat their words. The not a star crowd, the overpay crowd, the analytics-only crowd that missed the intangibles. Every team that passed on him. Every pundit who ripped that contract. The only person who ever got the read right from the very start was a 7-foot German legend who spotted something in a rookie nobody else even looked at twice. And now the question isn't whether Brunson could do it, it's how long it took everyone else to catch up. Here's the lesson. The league spent years chasing numbers, wingspan, vertical, advanced stats, draft grades, and the more they chased the measurable stuff, the more they missed what Dirk saw instantly: character, discipline, pure competitive drive, the traits no scouting report can capture. Back in 2019, Dirk looked at an overlooked second-round pick and called him ahead of the curve. 7 years later, that same guy is a finals hero and one of the best guards alive. Dirk was right the whole time. The rest of the league just took a while to catch up. Drop your take in the comments. Where does Brunson rank among today's best point guards? Hit like, subscribe, and check out the video on your screen right now.